We will tear your souls apart.
After Alien Resurrection and Predator 2 failed, no Alien 5, no Predator 3, what else could they have done with these two franchises? Well, that movie turned out to be Alien vs. Predator. Just like last year when I did my Halloween Rob Zombie hit or miss video, I'll be talking about both movies in one to save time. Like in Jason Goes to Hell, and Predator 2, if you look closely, there was a skull to xenomorph alien, setting up an Alien vs. Predator crossover movie. Just like Freddy vs. Jason, this movie was also in development hell for a decade. You can also say this movie is a prequel to the Alien series. This is set in present time, and the first 4 Alien movies are set in the near-distant future. You can also debate if these Alien vs. Predator movies are considered canon or not. Before this movie was made in the 90s, there were a lot of Alien vs. Predator comic books by Dark Horse Comic Books. As I said before in my Alien video, sorry for the reiterate right here, they also made Alien vs. Predator comic books fighting Batman, Superman, the Justice League. I haven't read those comic books and they're very cool and good. Besides reading Alien vs. Predator crossing over with Batman and Superman, I have read some of the Alien vs. Predator comic books, but I can't remember a particular story that comes to mind. I read basically random miscellaneous Alien vs. Predator comic books, and I enjoyed them. In the future, I would like to reread and visit them again at some point. Marvel recently did Alien Predator crossovers with Spider-Man the Avengers, which I would most definitely like to read at some point. With my recent birthday, I bought an Avengers vs. Alien comic book. Around the time this movie came out, it had a big promotion, a huge market. Around this time, the Alien Predator movies were coming out on DVD, and they sold toys and other miscellaneous merchandising around that time. This movie came out 1 year later after Freddy vs. Jason. We got 2 back-to-back horror icon crossover movies around this time in the early 2000s. Too bad we don't get a lot of movies like that these days. This movie might have been trying to be on the same level of success as Freddy vs. Jason. When Alien vs. Predator came out, I remember my parents getting me the movies and the toys, despite I was 11 years old around this time when Alien vs. Predator came out, and this was not a kid's movie, despite I had some restrictions at that time. And don't ask me why my parents were okay with me watching the Alien Predator movies, and don't worry, they were not those kind of parents. Sometimes my parents joke with me, I was the youngest, they were burnt out. As a kid watching the Alien Predator movie franchises, when this crossover idea came out, my thought as a kid was, yes, this crossover idea sounds awesome, it'll be badass. I saw this in the movie theaters with my father when it came out, and I liked it at the time, and I still like this movie to this day. But just like Alien 3, as I got older, I see why this movie didn't have the best reception at the time of its release. This movie is directed by Wes Anderson, who directed the Resident Evil movies, Mortal Kombat, Event Horizon. As I said before in my Alien video, I've never seen this movie, but I am aware of its cult status, and Death Race, which is a movie I like, but that's a different story for another future video idea. There are 2 cuts to this movie, the theatrical and unrated cut, but again, this is not a video I'm comparing which cut is better. It's not a great movie, it's not as bad as they say it is. Just like Freddy vs. Jason, it's either hit or miss, or it's either liked or disliked by fans. It's a mediocre movie. It's not a groundbreaking movie, it's not a mind-blowing movie, it's just a fun movie. Yes, I'll admit, the characters are bland and forgetful. Another versus movie where it's not about the characters and the story. The big highlight is seeing another big 2 horror icons fighting each other. The movie begins in Antarctica in 1904. A random person gets killed by the alien predators. Then we fast forward to 2004, 100 years later. The whaling company detects a signal that lands in Antarctica. I like the actress Sanaa Lathan, very talented actress. She was given poor direction and poor writing. Her character wasn't written well, sad to say, and that she's no Ripley. She has been in some good movies I liked her in, like Love and Basketball, Brown Sugar, Something New, Out of Time, Contagion, and she played Blade's mother in the first Blade movie. You all might recognize her as the voice of Donna Tubbs on The Cleveland Show, the spin-off to Family Guy. This character is based on the Mikiko Noguchi character from the Alien vs. Predator comic books. I probably said that wrong, I apologize. I read that when she was offered this role, she said she had never seen any of the Alien Predator movies prior. She plays Amanda Wood. She's an environmental technician, and I have no idea what the heck that is. She's one of the recruiting crews that is hired by the whaling company. To figure out what landed in the Arctics, she thinks that because of how risky and dangerous this mission is, she believes that without the proper training, things could go wrong, and her colleagues could be risking and danger, which she was right about. At first, she was going to quit the mission, but after a change of heart and a few simple rules for everyone's safety, she comes back on board for the mission. During the mission, after one of her crew gets killed by one, she befriends one of the Predators. They team up to destroy the xenomorph aliens. If you look close and analyze it, Paul Thomas Anderson copied the same shot as the first Alien movie of her fingers climbing up the shaft. It was cool to see Lance Henriksen in this movie, but this time he plays a different character again. It's not explained if there's any relation or connection to the android Bishop, and we don't care. It's awesome and cool to see Lance Henriksen in this movie. Great actor, makes the best of everything, even in bad movies. It's one of those, don't question it, just take it as it is. It's that he has a bad heart condition. He tries to fight one of the Predators, saving Lexi and Sebastian's life, but we all know that turns out he dies. Before he dies, it seems to be a Predator code they don't kill someone who has a bad heart condition or any medical condition. For a rich guy, he wasn't a stereotypical rich asshole. This one character, Graham Miller, who was a Scottish chemical engineer, was documenting his business trip for his children. The scene when he's walking around a room, thinks he heard something, and Lexi accidentally scares him. It's your typical jump scare cliche. In case you're wondering, what did he hear that almost scared him? It was a penguin. Graham gets kidnapped by the aliens. He wakes up in the cocoon, spots a face hugger. Hatchin gets a gun and kills a face hugger. Just when he thought he was safe, but only soon to realize he's surrounded by tons of face huggers. Grant does not have enough bullets to kill the face huggers. He's toast. As a little kid seeing this in the movie theaters, me and my father were laughing at his "oh shit" reaction. The underground art is like a puzzle trap. This is the first Alien movie to take place in modern day 2000s. This movie can be considered a prequel to the Alien series and a sequel to the first two Predator movies. It's the first Alien movie not to feature Sigourney Weaver as Ripley. Supposedly they asked Sigourney Weaver to be in this movie, but she turned it down because she said she did not like this script and she thought the idea of a crossover movie was not a good idea. Danny Glover was another possibility for him to be in this movie as Detective Harrigan, but he was too busy making Saw around the same time as this movie was being made. Arnold Schwarzenegger said that he was interested in being in this movie playing Dutch again, but Arnold said he only would have done this movie if he had lost the election when he was running for governor of California around this time period. We all know what happened here. Arnold Schwarzenegger won the election, becoming governor of California, and he could not commit to making this movie. Arnold Schwarzenegger became the governor. It's a shame and wasted opportunity that these three actors not come back for this movie, because if they were in this movie, this could have been a better film with better characters where he had like Ripley, Dutch, and Harrigan teaming up who have had past experiences facing the Predator and Alien. And yes, I know Ripley is like way beyond the near future, but maybe it's possible they could have had Sigourney Weaver playing a different character, but that could go either way. With this movie taking place in Antarctica, the middle of nowhere, where isolation felt like the thing, but this is a no-brainer. The Thing is a classic and a much better movie. This movie has cool fight scenes again, just like Freddy vs. Jason. That's the highlight to this movie. It's one of those movies we don't care about the plot or characters. We just want to see the alien predator fight each other. I remember as a kid in 6th grade when me and my friends talked about this movie, we debated on who won in this movie in the end. Some kids said Alien won, no, the Predator won. The Predator came close, but no cigar for him. In my opinion, the way I see it, nobody won in this movie, but maybe yes. The Predators won the battle, but not the war. You can say the Predators are the anti-heroes of the movie and the Xenomorph aliens are the villains. As I said before, the character Alec teams up with one of the Predators to destroy the Xenomorph aliens. It's like a buddy team-up, but yes, I'll admit, this idea was not done as well as it could have been. Some potential, but it could have been done better. Just like Harrigan in Predator 2, they respect her and see that she's a worthy person. The Predator marks her face that she's one of them. It was cool that her shield was an alien head. One part I do like in this movie is when the character Sebastian explains the history behind the alien Predator's rival, their hatred for one another, how they were worshipped as gods, and they have humans as sacrifice for aliens. It has nice visual shots of the background story. The Predator holding the alien head, lightning storm strikes. When the Predator is lost, they used their bombs to make sure no xenomorph aliens survived. Alex almost quotes Arnold's famous line, "One ugly motherfucker" line, only to be cut off by the Queen alien when she saves the Predator's life. When the Queen alien chases Alex, she's not wearing a winter jacket, and she doesn't seem to be shivering cold. Typical B-movie flaw right here when you think about it. When I was watching this movie for this video review, the opening scene, some random employee was watching Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman. My thought was, that was cool, a little homage. And it shows out what inspired the writers to make a crossover movie idea like this. It shows they were taking notes right there. My friend Chris Maynard, you all remember, one of my closest friends who passed away 3 years ago, and I made a YouTube video tribute. He once told me this movie and Freddy vs. Jason were a modern-day Universal's Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, and you know what? He was right there. The movie ends setting up a sequel where the xenomorph alien Chesper right for one of the Predators. Just like Freddy vs. Jason, this movie's hit or miss. The characters are not the purpose of this movie. The purpose is we want to see the alien predator fight each other. The plot is nothing special. Sorry if I've already said that a few times already in this video for the repeat. This movie is no masterpiece, but it's another guilty pleasure movie I enjoy rewatching for fun from time to time for fun. A good movie to pop in occasionally to shut my brain off and relax. If you saw this movie once for the experience, curiosity, and have no interest to revisit again, that's totally okay and I understand why. It's a little nostalgia for me. It brings back memories from when I was a little kid, seeing this in the movie there's my father. When I rewatch this movie, I'll watch it from start to finish. Sometimes on rare occasions for cheating, I'll just skip and watch the fight scenes or the background story for fun. The biggest mistake with this movie is it's rated PG-13. Well, it's not a gore fest, and there's no nudity. It has a little bit of gore. They should have given us an R rating. The CGI is not good, but again, it's 2000 CGI. To this movie's credit, they did use some practical effects in the alien predator characters. They look fantastic. The Queen Xenomorph alien practical effects is pretty good, just like Aliens to a degree. She was frozen for Lord knows how long, but it seems like lightning resurrects her, kind of like how when Dr. Frankenstein uses lightning to reanimate the monster. It has weird slow motion shots that are basically ripping off the Matrix. It's more of a straight up action adventure movie, not big on horror and suspense like the first Alien Predator movies. I don't think Paul W. Thomas Anderson's direction is horrible, but I'm not sure and I would not be surprised if he probably had a lot of interference with this movie when he made the movie. I don't hate Paul W. Thomas Anderson movies. He's hit or miss, and I'm not really into his movie, with some rare exceptions. His direction is just okay, but I'll admit, the movie has no sense of direction at times. It falls flat for being one of the best crossover movies. This concept has potential. Hopefully one day we'll see a much better Alien vs. Predator movie. What they should do is give the director respect to these franchises. Like I said, I don't here love this movie, it's okay. Would I recommend it to everyone? Well, it depends on if you're a die-hard fan of both Alien Predator movies. If you have high expectations for this movie, you might be disappointed. If you're a completist, then go for it. Now on to Alien vs. Predator Requiem. Oh boy. The last movie was just called Alien vs. Predator. It was the first movie. This movie title upgraded, calling it Alien vs. Predator Requiem. As my buddy Wolfman Sam says on the podcast we do together, use numbers, they are your best friends. If people thought Alien vs. Predator was bad, the first Alien vs. Predator movie is a forgiving movie compared to this one. And the first Alien vs. Predator movie wasn't great, at least that movie had some decent entertainment to it. The last Alien vs. Predator movie was rated PG-13. This one is rated R. The rating of this movie does not save or improve the movie. Not only can studios ruin the movie with interference, studios have no idea what they are doing to give a proper rating to a movie sometimes. Despite the first Alien vs. Predator movie wasn't a big hit, they were able to make a sequel, with little to what the first movie grossed out of the box office at the time in 2004 compared to today's movie standards. They canceled the sequel to Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash and made that original movie idea into a comic book, and yet they still made this movie? This movie's one ugly motherfucker piece of shit garbage bad movie. Get away from this movie, you bitch producers! The movie opens up where it last left off after one of the Predators died. Alien chest bursts right through him, becoming a half alien, half predator. No Sanaa Lathan in this movie. Good. She's too good of an actress to be in a movie like this. The half xenomorph, half alien predator attacks the predators on the ship. As a big fan of the series and being a fan of the alien predator designs, this is called the Predalien, half predator, half alien. The Predalien design, meh, I can take it or leave it. it doesn't come close to topping H.R. Geiger and Stan Winston's designs of Alien Predator. Calling it Predalien, I don't know. They could have come up with a better name for this, half alien, half predator combo. A good concept, but just not given a proper justice name. The Predator plane lands on Earth. Some random hunter and his son find the spaceship, a knockoff to the Blob. A homeless man and his dog also find it, another Blob reference. They all get impregnated by the xenomorph alien, and we know what happens here. I don't need to explain this at this point. The last movie took place in the Arctic. This movie takes place in Gunnison, Colorado. It was the first time we saw the xenomorph aliens on Earth, but that was in the middle of nowhere like The Thing. But this is like the first time we see the aliens in a small suburban town. Yeah, that just doesn't work and it's boring. The last movie also had a little bit of an anthology and history behind both the aliens and predators. These teenage characters are stupid, dumb, cliched, annoying characters. We don't give a shit about if they live or die in this movie. These are the kind of characters you would see in a Friday the 13th, a Nightmare on Elm Street, a Halloween movie, or any other typical slasher horror movie in general. I don't care about this guy gets beaten up and bullied being a victim because he has a crush on the prettiest girl in high school. Whatever. His older brother is a former convict, gets released from prison. Again, I don't care or give a fuck. He goes to a crime scene with a cop who tries his best to help the people, but it's just dumb and stupid. It adds no point to the story of the alien predator fighting each other. I've seen it done better in other movies where, depending on the situation with low reinforcements at the police department, that the civilians break into a gun store with either whatever police officers are left over and grab some guns and other weapons. Dawn of the Dead, Halloween 4, Michael Myers killed all the police officers, and Lewis suggested the sheriff to ask the hunters and rednecks for help. They were not police officers, but it was better than no help. Heck, when Ash, Ripley, the Terminator, Rambo, or any other badass awesome action hero or woman gears up to kick ass and save the day, and say, fuck yeah, or groovy. When the girl makes out with the guy she likes, when she's taking off her clothes, she says, are you looking at me or the clock? I always look at the clock for once, because you know why? Because I couldn't take this movie much longer. Besides the teenage characters, these other characters aren't that interesting either. The mother returns home from the army to be reunited with her husband and daughter. One would think I would feel happy, emotion, and sympathy, but I'm sad to say this, I don't feel that. The mother returning home, the way it was shot, I felt like some of a U.S. Army commercial of returning veterans. I've seen better YouTube videos of children reacting seeing their Army parents come home from the military, feeling happy for them, that they got to return home safely and see their loved ones again. After the father dies getting attacked by an alien, the mother and daughter are on their own. The bond between the mother and daughter feels like Newt and Ripley. Do I need to point out which movie did that better? It's also cliche when the characters don't get along, can't put their differences aside and work together to survive. Unsure if they can trust each other, especially knowing the government lied to them. Yeah, I've seen this done better again. Night of the Living Dead, Day of the Dead, Dog Soldier, The Thing, and The Descent. Our bland main hero named Dallas sacrificed and telling his younger brother, the mother and daughter, to get to the chopper. Arnold Schwarzenegger said it better, you big dummy. Why does this scene make me appreciate the first Predator movie? When I watched this part, it literally made me angry. Stop copying classic movie lines and come with your own lines, assholes! But of course, he gets to the chopper and did not die. Gee, what a predicament right there. For a movie that is bad, seeing the Predalien pregnant a pregnant woman, being pregnant with impregnant, was over the top gross, disgusting, and stupid. It was not necessary and it did not work. And I'm sad and sorry to say this, as much as I feel bad and sorry for this pregnant woman, there was no character development to get to know this pregnant woman enough before she was impregnated by the Predalien. This scene felt like something out of a body horror, but not done well as other body horror movies like The Brood, Ravage, Shivers, The Fly, Crimes of the Future, the recent body horror Together with Dave Franco and his wife Alison Brie, and Infinity Pool with Mia Goth. Also, another thing about this movie, despite being bad, the fight scenes between the alien predator and Night and the Ren are pretty good, but again, it doesn't save the movie, but I'll admit, it was too dark and hard to tell what was going on with the fight scenes between the alien and the predator, but at least we got cool close-up shots of the costumes. It's a shame because that's what people wanted to see in this movie. While it's cool and awesome they use some practical effects and not having the CGI for the alien predator designs, but it doesn't save the movie, not have to give it a small credit for still how bad this movie was. They did use CGI done right necessary, but the CGI is god-awful and crap. Just like the last movie, no one wins in the end. The government blows blows up Colorado. Just like any cliched horror movie, it ends on a cliffhanger setting up a possible future sequel where the government stole a piece of the Predator technology to study it. The end. This movie came out Christmas Day 2007, of all days for an Alien Predator movie to come out. I didn't see this in the movie theaters when it came out. I saw this movie 1 year later on cable television, and thank God I did not waste my money for seeing this garbage in the movie theaters. For this video, this is my second viewing, and boy, after not watching this movie for over 15 years, this movie aged very poorly and badly. Alien vs. Predator Requiem is just a turd in the series. It was just made for money. I don't know what went on during the making of this movie. It would not surprise me this movie had a lot of studio interference, a fast-paced production, and probably budget problems where they had to cut a lot of the costs. The production design felt more like a fan film than an actual Hollywood budget movie. This movie felt like an Alien movie with the Predator thrown at the last minute by the studio. This is a movie I'll never revisit again. After watching any of this video, I will completely forget what I just watched. Lord knows I can try to make a better Alien vs. Predator movie in today's modern cinema. Hopefully they learned their lesson after these two Alien vs. Predator movies. If not, well, it was not meant to be in the cards for us to get a proper Alien vs. Predator movie then.